There you go. Good. It's okay. I still love you, little sis. I still love you. Here, hug. Hug. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You look great. Hold on. Let me fix up your tie. Fix it up. There you go. Good. Button that up. Okay. So good pants. And now, wait. Wait. Hey, what?
Go hard around.
Here, freeze. Take the sacrifice of wrong.
I see you, Poto. You can't hide from me. I see you.
Everyone, T-pose around her. T-pose.
No, don't do it.
Double the sacrifice.
The sacrifice shall begin. You're invisible. Wait, where'd you go?
It's a demon.
If I could flip you off, I would.
There you are.
Bitch, they're just beating him. Okay.
Alright, you nerds, start lining up. Yes. Start lining up, you nerds. I don't care, I'm doing this a minute early. You can fight me on it.
Alright,
Oh, today should be a
Freeze, I hear your
relaxing
fan.
day.
Actually, speaking of fan, I should put my on.
Wait, does that exist?
Neat. Anyways.
Syndicate?
Random art gallery just
Fantastic.
opened, apparently. Anyways, we're gonna read the rules of roleplay. First, respect one another as if we're on. Fuck English. Respect one another as if they're your own family. Act to situations as your character would act to them. Turn off nameplates of HUD. If an outside source is interfering with roleplay, either block them or hide their avatar. No power play of any kind. Your characters can die to numerous things. All characters must be the age of 18 plus. There are some circumstances, but I don't think any of those some circumstances exist at the moment. So get permission from your DMs. Do not try to derail the campaign or mission. Your actions have consequences. Think before you act. 8. 8, technically speaking, doesn't count today, but also I can't do math either today. 9, if you're role-playing a Syndicate character during a public event, you do not stop. I read that over. I said your actions have consequences. Think before you act.
Rod, can you fix my cape?
That's 9.
I got you, fam.
Alright, 10, sexual acts will be allowed, will not.
There you go.
I can't read today. Holy fuck, I can't read. Jesus Christ. Sexual acts will not be allowed in character. Any doing so in public words or within private or closed off secluded areas of our worlds will be banned immediately. Barred from activity for more than minimum 2 weeks to a month. If a acts continues, then immediately ban will be done upon. Holy shit, I can't read today. Next, few things to mention. DM rules law. Do not start drama that's from out of character. That's cringe. If we hear about it, we're just going to most likely yell at you and tell you to go away. So do not bring up out of character issues. DMs are handling all issues. If people have them, please message a DM.
My hands are breaking.
Smalls here. You guys are free to go to where you want to be. I don't know where all the places were again. It's been a hot minute since I did this.
If you're going to be opening an instance, go ahead and say it now.
Yes.
I actually need to look for danger. Right now.
I guess we can just start going to our place now.
I was trying to fix that. She was trying to mess with that.
No, it was him. My blinders are broken.
You
Oh my god.
I'm gonna see if anyone's interested about cooking class today, so.
Why so serious?
I'm not serious, Mr.
Man.
Serious. I just fucked with a man's cape twice. He turns around and points at two other people. Which one of you fuckers messing with my cape? And I'm sitting there like...
It was so great. They didn't even. He didn't even expect you. He was blaming the. He's. If I figure out which one of you fuckers was messing with my cape, that's what I hear before I ran off.
I am Sneak Master 59. Nobody ever expects Duran.
To be honest, when you pulled out your wizard hat, I just pulled it backwards for like 5 seconds. You didn't even notice it.
To be fair, anytime I have a hat on this model, on my screen the hat is spazzing out worse than insane on a bad connection day.
It's so funny watching them just freak out to try and
Did my
fix it.
Discord crash?
Whoa.
Yes, my Discord has a spasm.
I didn't even realize you had a hat on it.
This ring has multiple hats.
This.
I used a small cab in my early police days.
Ah.
It's a him, Luigi.
I have a sombrero. I've used for funny occasions.
Roleplay will be beginning in 10 minutes.
Did you use a sombrero when you went to Mexico to try and blend in with the locals?
I have never been to Mexico yet, but if I ever do, yes. I have dealing with the
Mexico is heavily blessed, and the times the Diablos went to try to take him, they got kicked their asses.
Now I did wear this hat every time I went to the Diablos, though.
Oh my god.
Salt in the wound.
No, the Diablos were also like a Mexican drug cartel, so it was like, how will I fit in better with the Diablos?
Perfect.
You know what? Fuck it. We starting RP in unusual ways tonight.
Apparently.
Fuck it. Reception.
Oh my god.
Hello, welcome to the beginning session. How can I help you?
Oh, well, if we're starting in unusual ways...
The door stopper. He's back.
Whoa.
Hello?
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 Welcome to the
Hello,
BPD
hi.
station. What can we do for you?
Okay, so you're sprawled out on a desk. You're up there. You're being good so far. Unless the changes. Is that going to change?
Before you were to step it, I was thinking about T-posing in a garbage can, maybe.
Ooh, do it.
Who am I to stop you? Your throne.
Don't throw Leafy in the garbage.
I'm not throwing them in the garbage. We're going to place themselves there. All of you. It's like how they say like insane asylums get weird like during full moons. The BPD's getting weird during Pride Month. God damn it.
Gay and pride
Month is.
Get down from there. Get down from there.
Why?
My brain broke. I literally couldn't think of anything. There wasn't a single one.
Hello. Have you seen the notes I posted today?
I won't see you.
Come back. Fine.
Oh, I absolutely hate that.
Come here, you floating voice.
What the fuck?
Why?
Passed the fuck out last night, Leo.
Did I? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you
remember
did.
falling asleep and waking up alone. Which is
Oh,
fine.
You were only alone because Steam Beyond was like,
Stop.
yo, fuck you, we've crashed. And no one can get you into the world anymore, fuck you. And I was just sat there like, goddamn.
I mean, I tried to. Well, I wanted to join a friend to say hello for real quick, but my internet decided to say, fuck you.
Ghost.
You're done for the night, and would not let me load in anywhere.
Holy shit, is that dude
Hello.
000? Holy
And
shit.
so I had to stop playing for the night.
Fair enough.
Dude, you like that sometimes?
Which was
I just
surprising,
remember-
because literally right after we were done with the roleplay and everyone literally just started to chill, my internet, or my ping just literally skyrocketed right after we all started to, like, just chill and chat.
You've heard
Almost
of
as if it
Elf
was
on the
holding off on
Shelf.
purpose.
Now introducing a rat
It probably
on a
was.
door.
We all
And
know
found
gamers
the
never
death.
look up.
Gargoyle.
So if I'm up here, this will be a tactical advantage. You will never
Also, I
realize
sent
it.
you the picture that I took.
I did. I do see you captured brilliantly the lack of thoughts in my head.
No, there were a lot of thoughts in your head, but none of them was the answer. Just, why?
Quickly, Spandex. We are starting in
It
unusual
really-
locations
It
today.
really was like
Start RP.
I'm
and
sorry,
it didn't
what?
start.
Start RP in unusual locations. Go.
You can get Morton to do anything if you can just give him a good reason. Sometimes we can't give him a good reason.
Now someone has to take a picture looking into this
I hope,
Actually, hold on, go to the other
like,
side. Drone.
actually, is
Play the
he even in
drums.
here? He's not in here. I was about to say, it would be really funny if the first person to enter the building while we all do this was Grand in character.
That would be great, to be honest.
Well, as we go on, it would be really funny to try to explain
You must
this
find
to...
a spot.
I'm trying to find
Fuck,
a
you
spot.
moved.
I'm sorry, dog.
You got your spot? I can barely see you. Hold on, I have to readjust my camera now. Oh, never mind, I can see the little speck of blue.
I am a blue.
Damn, he is a plant.
Don't make me use the mushroom.
Wonderful.
I'll put on the jester hat. Don't make me.
Don't.
What?
I will become the clown.
I will shoot you.
What the fuck?
Do it. I wish for death, please.
No, no, no!
Whoa.
Oh, hello.
Ooh, did you?
Hello?
Holy shit, you got them
Right.
bendy and link
Nice.
machine
Fuck,
eyes.
you're just asking to be stepped on. You gotta
They're
let
they're in immense pain.
the phantasmal cat.
Heaven,
Yeah,
'cause
I would assume-
these kinds of surgeries don't really exist yet. Grant just was like,
They
want some
do now.
artifice? Here's some eyes. Oh god.
Jesus.
Roleplay started. Ow.
Well, that's kind of how the enchanted eyes were also supposed to work. You
I'm out
put
here,
them
dog.
in, they attach, bam, they work. That is how crude my
Kablamo.
enchantments are sometimes.
Why are you on the door? Why are you laying on the desk?
comfy.
I just like to feel tall sometimes.
Yeah, he's short.
All right.
Beats me, to be honest.
So hello. How is
Good to
everyone
practice your
doing
balance.
tonight? It does.
Well, then let's balance some heavy stuff up there then.
You just
I would
close the
not
door.
practice my balance.
Ask about it. What?
Don't close the door while I'm up here.
Oh yeah, I could just close the door.
Just
I
close
will
it.
drop
Fun
directly on you.
The tungsten cube incident.
I still need to get a tungsten cube, yeah. We have a bunch of tungsten. I could do
I
it.
thought you had one already.
Oh no, this is later. No, I don't actually. We have an automaton made of tungsten for some reason, but I'm not gonna melt that down into a
Oh.
cube.
Absolutely fascinating. Thank you for teaching me
You have
about
a
the corner, Mr.
tungstomaton.
Corner.
Yeah, apparently that was here before I was.
Are you okay?
The phantasmal cat is inside my foot. It hurts.
I immediately feel way shorter.
I must have threatened the phantasmal cat.
There's people that are way shorter than you around.
I don't see them very often.
You see me right here. I'm shorter than you.
There is 3 people right here who are shorter than you.
Okay, but it's like.
What do you mean shorter? I'm taller than him.
What are you?
No, you're not,
on?
Asher.
No.
No, look, I am. Look, if you compare him to me, look, I'm obviously taller. Look at me, I am bigger.
Right now, aren't you? So
I am obviously
now look
taller.
at
Don't you guys see
You're-
this?
He's at his full height right now, so now
To
you are
even
taller.
suggest that anyone is taller than me is ridiculous.
I'm not short.
What?
Hello.
Hi, Rika.
Hello.
Hi.
No.
Am I in the way? I'll scooch out.
Do you all need something?
I don't
Here.
understand.
I was following Rika.
I don't know where it is, but it's there somewhere. It's on my belt somewhere.
I see it.
How's everyone doing?
I'm gonna do something stupid.
Look, picks you up. Sets you on.
Is there an issue, Jesse?
Your comments about height were just stupid.
What about
It's a collider. There's a collider on the actual desk. It's a collider. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that out.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Look at the ring. The ring.
At any rate.
Show them what the ring.
Can I show it in here?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Magus Manos. And the pin floats up. Actually, is the mage hand visible?
That is something, believe it or not, that after me asking multiple times, I've never gotten answered.
I'm going to assume it's not then. Pin floats up. And then drops because heavy.
Progress. It's progress. I'm so excited. Also, they're part of the Mago Simile now. I've adopted them into Mago Simile. I would have approved that either way. Although, okay, don't buy small shark.
I am not
Although
small.
Rika, don't give anyone my kind of thing and just bring them into Magus Familia.
Something like pois was saying.
What am I supposed to do with this?
I'm blue.
Has an Aquarius symbol inside of it.
like a round crystal.
How quickly are you to make those?
That one took us about 30 seconds.
What the fuck? Let's not mass produce those. Let's not mass produce those. That is a terrible
What are we
idea.
mass producing?
Nothing. Yet. Nothing yet.
What are we possibly mass producing?
It's okay. Okay, we're just mass producing small amounts of them.
No, no.
Why not? What's wrong with it?
The fact that if it becomes widespread, then it'll be more known. If it becomes more known, then that means the veil on it will slowly degrade, but also meaning that there'll be more, you know, how can I say this, racism against it?
Racism?
Yeah, I know, I'm aware. You didn't say anything.
I'm gonna go.
And we'll kill the racist.
Don't
You can't kill them all. You can't do that.
take those two whispering with you.
No. Are you going to mind read the entirety of the world? Find people who dislike magic and go to their location to kill them? Is that your plan?
No, I was just going to wait until they say something. Hello.
Ooh,
good to see you again.
Wonderful opportunity, Jesse. I'd like to talk to you.
About what?
The painting. I was told by Aster that either find you or Lobelia. First come, first served. You're the first one I see. Do you mind if we sit down for it?
They're we talking about the painting.
Oh, it's an important painting. You're concerned.
It's upstairs.
Are you okay?
He didn't want me to go, or he didn't want me to go alone on a patrol.
About a month, right?
Yep.
Probably. I don't have much experience with it. I'll be honest, the only difference I'm seeing is that she's more giggly.
More impulsive. Headbutted the wall at the Coliseum yesterday.
That just seems like a bad idea.
Oh, and she's taken to picking me up and carrying me, which, whatever.
Well, that's nothing new. I was a victim of that like many times back in the day.
But she's still her, but there's no filter there.
There might be a filter, it might just be a bit more convoluted than before. If it's anything like getting a bunch of voices in your head, it just takes a bit to, you know, settle everything into the right documents. Would be probably one way to say it. Well, hello, 50.
Greetings.
I believe Officer Verge just went out to start a patrol. I was going to join them in a moment, if you want to catch up with them.
Well, Well, she's safe with Eos for the moment.
She should be safe with most people in the station. Because unfortunately we have to deal with that kind of stuff more than we want to.
Fair.
I feel rude just leaving you in the station alone, but I should probably join my officers in the patrol.
That's fine. I'll head to the hotel.
Now, which direction did 50 go?
I did not see 50. I apologize.
That's fine. It's just you ran out, 50 came in, and I said that he could join you in patrol if he wanted to.
Well, technically, I went chasing after Asher because he rushed in, rushed out. But then I couldn't find him.
I mean, it's Asher. It's not the most surprising thing. I didn't have this mask on. I could probably smell out that diesel, but... Yeah.
Well, I could smell it. I am a candid. I do have a good sense of smell.
True, true. Well, then you smell any diesel anywhere?
Yeah. But seems.
Oh, it's empty.
Oh, there. Hmm. Oh.
Yo.
Yo.
Something the matter?
No, no, no. I just, wanted to catch up with you guys. Not very fast on land sometimes.
Have you happened to seen 50 by any chance?
I have not seen 50. Nor Aster. You know what? I think the only ones I've seen so far are you two. And, Eos and, Jesse. Etc. Standing company.
one of the barrels of the mech,
I'm
turn it into
not
something
gonna
that can be
fucking
shot
lose it
off
regardless, so I don't see the problem.
without the mech. We're gonna make it heavy.
Oh, the
also.
mechs. The mechs.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
we have the we already have the barrel. We just need to figure out a fire mechanism and fire mechanism and
You're being stolen.
Again?
I need to show you my crazy collection.
Yeah.
A collection of what?
Another add to the collection, I see.
Yes.
Oh.
Alright. Set down. So far, all I have is alchemy ingredients right now. I need more ideas. This is why I stole you.
Ideas for what?
Is yes. 4 scales from Lynn, 4 scales from Bologna, 4 feathers from Feather, which are 2 down, 2 Phoenix feathers. That one. Down feathers and up feathers, or normal feathers. 4 from Iris, which are both 4 fallen angel feathers, 1 feather from Lily, hair from a kitsune, hair from Scarlet, which is a mage.
Are you here by your own will? Yes, just offering help to a fellow rat.
Acknowledged.
Take the whisk.
Alright.
Carefully whisk.
Ectoplasm vial, bark, ectoplasm and a vial. I don't know how the fuck they got that. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. Bark from bark from a wood elf. Bark from a Jotun. Leaf from a Fae that's touched by Nefeshian Fae. 2 a lock of hair from 2 lock of hairs, and then your gasher for troll blood. Now.
What else, Sap? What the fuck did you
What
need
else, Sap?
my... Why the fuck did you need my skill? You think you have enough of everybody else?
So, because each skills are different. Like, if that one wants to give me Fey Blood's used in shit too. But however, if I just combine all this together, how bad of a bomb would you think I would make instantly? Hello.
You might just remove that.
Can I have... Hello. I treat you.
Oh yeah, I have a drow crystal too. Anyways, we don't worry about that too. I forgot about that. Fuck. I need to add that too. My shopping list is fucking huge.
Just collecting
Grabs empty vial.
If you're done prepping your food and you're about to cook it, make sure.
My chaos of alchemy ingredients are growing, and no one has stopped me.
We need a deal. We need a deal. I'm kidnapping you.
I need this one
I
first.
need a deal.
I need.
What do you need them for? What do you
Is there
need
any
them
other thing else that you can? Is there? Oh yeah, I got mushrooms from the from that shark. Is there anything else you think? And Dionysus mushrooms, so don't worry about that either. Anything that you can think of before I start mixing shit together for no reason.
No, not really. I think you got a bit of.
We're having rat bonding time.
Bites his own tail.
Cool. Ah, fuck.
Understood.
Well, actually, you can get a few shavings from a jackalope one if you want. Pulls out jackalope angle. There's a few shavings, so I kind of want to keep that for weapon crafting.
Don't blame me, blame my mother. Take off gloves. No. Wash hands. Forms another meat. Washing dishes.
What you doing?
Drop 2 scales.
Wash hands. Put the meatballs on the pan.
Beat the fuck out of you.
How are you that small?
I am not.
What was that again? Sorry.
He dropped 2 scales on the table.
How many?
2.
Very low temperature oven on a non-meltable.
You asked that, but I can get way bigger. But I am
Here's your
now.
blood back.
Keep it. I don't really want it. What am I do? Drink it? It's artificial blood. I clearly can't drink my own blood again. It's Ichor and also acid. So like,
It's just staying in this fucking vial. I guess I'm diluting it then and turning it into a paste so I can use it in alchemy.
there's also dead nanobites in it, so I don't also want it because I want to repair them, and I don't want to do that. Don't ask me fucking questions. Don't worry about it. Don't
Don't worry about
All
it.
right, you'll be fine.
Chaos will reign.
Cool.
Bye, Paul.
That helps with.
Did you see what I
And
said?
that helps. Yes, I just saw that. Alright, so.
I'm going about to make him a pipe.
Alright, you're free to go to, the mage or whatever, I don't care. But.
Cleaning the prepping table for a quick second.
I'll let you on a secret. Every single one of these ingredients were literally just asked, can I have this from you?
Yeah. People are surprised.
You fair. I'm just saying, every one. One of my friends joined.
Oh no.
I think. Yes.
Try and not.
I have to respond.
Yes, you
I won't.
I don't want this to stay
Doing
on
the same
there
with the
'cause I'll burn
jalapeno.
the pot as well, pan as well.
Use jalapeno.
I'm fucking yank him down. Just get down!
If I sigh a lot, don't worry. It's just fucking hot in my room right now. Fuck.
So you got the Siva collection.
How the hell are you worried about the heat?
Yeah.
In my
It is
real
quite
room,
fast.
fam. Fucking hot.
This is a real room right
She's
here.
gonna mix all that shit together, and this building will disappear.
Maybe we need to lose
from
I
now
didn't
on.
smoke it enough.
What can I say? I guess I have a hell.
We had an idea.
You got a hell of a
Restaurant. You get in, you get a burger, you get out. Call it in and out. We'll make money.
You call it ratatouille.
You know what?
Probably get money.
If you're making that, I'm gonna make the king of all burgers.
paid
Then.
before
I'm
they
gonna
got
name
the
it Burger
burger.
King.
Sophie, where's Sophie?
Oh, you are following me.
Breaking too many.
Kidnap me, yes. You come with me.
Okay, I'm getting.
You guys
Excuse me, has anyone seen Sophie anywhere?
Forcing old McDonald
I think it's
and his farm to turn into a restaurant, a fast food restaurant.
Around over there?
I feel like the word kidnapped is used far too liberally here.
Been in a fucking McDonald's.
I mean,
As
it's
the
gonna be
future,
fast
Anyone
food.
seen Sophie?
the future investor.
But I mean,
of
consensual
the restaurant
kidnapping, I
owners
guess
called
that's kinda
Burger King.
okay, isn't
I
it?
declare this McDonald my rival.
It's a statement.
Is it not? I mean, consensual kidnapping. Isn't consensual kidnapping just going with the person? No, you actually have to, like, grab them and take them. They can't, you gotta throw the bag away.
You gotta just pick. You gotta grab them. You can pick them up. You go, hey, can I take you?
let's see.
Oh, I'm never going. I can't go to that establishment. I can't support it. I can't support a holy
Sorry,
establishment.
don't mind me.
I'm sure that's very important. Church? What church is?
Can we go somewhere else, you know, please?
If you close on Sunday, it's part of the
Are
holy
you
establishment.
looking for
somewhere
EOS?
only I know? I got this
nice
chair with ropes on it. It has your name on it. You wanna go?
Who are you looking for? Alright.
The problem, if you're going to Sinful Church, you're usually off on Fridays because you're at the club. And clubs because
Let's see, two majors. Where could they have gone? Probably the beach. Knowing them.
for the
A lot.
True. I know one of those. Also, it wasn't just me, but that rat there was of an incredible fucking size, yeah?
It was. It was.
How the fuck? I'm supposed to be above red average. Not hearing any sounds of chaos yet. No?
I don't see anything.
No? Did we stereotype them wrongly?
Maybe.
Oh. I can't believe it. I'm on the wrong side of history.
Check inside the parking garage just in case they're being a little quiet.
Rika can't be quiet. It's Rika. Yep, no.
Nope, nothing.
Huh.
Bit of a surprise.
What the fuck?
You think it would be hard to not see a red or someone with red hair? Especially someone with
I think I just saw
hair of that.
station.
Yeah, a little.
Oh, they haven't gone back to the station. There's really many other active places in Babylon.
Not really. Hmm.
Why are you looking at me?
I thought you were looking at something. How chaotic do you think it could be as an alchemist to mix ingredients with, like, dragon scales, mindworm scales, and stuff that has both fey and fishy energy?
I suppose it depends on what it is. Specifically, and if it can be crushed, if it can be processed.
Could it be very dangerous by any chance?
There is danger in everything.
True, true. Pois just showed me a huge collection of things he's collected from things I don't think exist, but apparently they do. And he's just gonna put it all into one big pot, and I'm very scared for what's gonna happen in the hotel in like 20 minutes,
Oh,
probably.
is that where my mushroom went?
Is he even an alchemist?
Oh no.
No.
I suppose be ready for a call then if something bad happens, cause what the hell do you say? Don't make soup?
He
Is
seems
that-
excited.
Why you ran out so fast?
Well, yeah. They wanted a piece of the mushroom, so I gave them a piece of the mushroom. I saw no harm in it.
That poor mushroom.
Been through a lot.
Dragon scale.
Yeah, I think
what
he
you
had
said,
like
right?
3 different kinds of dragon scales, yeah.
The most unfortunate thing that I think it's a huge waste of resources to put it all into one.
Probably.
But it's her soup. Whatever.
Considering she got 2 from Sapphire as well, I was there. I don't think it's too hard to get dragon scales.
Is she making it in their kitchen?
That's why she had everything, so yeah, probably. That'd be my guess.
Guess we'll find out eventually.
Oh god. Please don't do anything too chaotic, world.
I'm hoping it just results in some sort of failure. That's what we can hope for.
That's what we can hope for. But knowing this world, that kind of failure could also lead to, like, anything. And everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Also, your voice sounds a bit raspy. Have you remembered to drink?
Do you think you should talk to them? I say go for
it. I don't think you're very good at whispering.
Well, I can't whisper any quieter. My mouth stops making noise if I whisper any quieter. Hold on, I got this. Hang on just like a second. Now I can whisper as quiet as I want to.
Yeah, it's definitely
But
better.
you'll hear everything.
But I think at this point it's like not worth whispering. I think there's a point where it becomes like too late.
Well, I'm still whispering. I mean, you're the one that deleted the whisper. You just not deleted. You got rid of the whisper. We had a good thing going on. Also, do you have a way to test for derpies? Is that possible?
I don't think we would need a test for that. Why are you asking?
Well, you see, it's for a thing that I cannot confirm nor deny if it has derpies, but I need a test.
Okay, looking into its eyes. Are they straight or not?
It has no eyes.
What kind of thing without eyes can get derpies?
Well, you see, that's what I'm trying. You remember Officer Cumber, right?
I'm immediately leaving this conversation.
I don't know if you've caught her around. Her name is Fang. Small, recently got a new hat. Well, actually, she's quite taller now. What is happening? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Well, I think this is something I shouldn't worry about.
Sounds like there's a hammer in your stomach.
There most likely is, in a way, maybe.
Unfortunately, Asher. That hat will be in evidence until this is cleared.
Alright.
Why could they have gone?
On an adventure.
against me. Which one?
Oh yeah, there's more than
No.
those two.
We still have
She still needs
you know what I'm
cooperation
doing with them.
training and to get some of the
What
basic
about
stuff mastered.
So
As soon as that comes into doing.
Oh, good lord, it's EOS.
Example,
the one that likes
who
bubbles.
have cut
Hello.
you, but
EOS
cooperation-
Yeah.
You know, working
yeah,
together to
yeah, I do.
one big enemy.
Wait, Morton!
Fuck off.
You want undead crystals. I'm not gonna disagree
No.
with you. One sparring might be a way to
Morton, we need you.
I mean, I can.
linked with the patent office.
I need you. We're going on an adventure, Mortens.
Adventure, Mortons. You'll see why in a second.
Just make sure it doesn't take more than 8
To the station, Mortens.
Come on.
That's
the thing. I don't.
The stuff
Just coming.
my own crystal mine in the
How you're being taken back.
Okay, so undead is fine.
And you'll see. We'll understand soon enough why we had to have the Mortons. Where did Eos go? Have we lost an Eos on the way here? Oh no.
I'll get him.
Oh, oh god, so jeez. Oh god, so jeez. We lost him. $5 as they go in, he comes out. Or not. Well, that's unfortunate. I think they're trying to pet you, Mortons.
Is everything alright?
Perfectly.
Who's vacuuming orphans?
What?
What? What? What? Anyways,
I
let's
thought
go.
I heard someone say that there's someone vacuuming orphans.
Okay.
Onward! He's making this more tense.
Shoot! Hey, shoot!
I hate you for that.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Jeez, relax. Man. Yeah, well, what's going on?
You do. Yo.
Yes, mommy.
Huh? Congratulations, Rika, on being a proud mother.
I already was a proud mother. You haven't met my cockatrice.
No.
Hello.
Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, what are we doing
7, 8.
here?
Jesus Christ. Alright.
Lead the way, Eos.
So, we're going to the painting. We're taking Mortons with us. Do you wanna join us?
You know, that is a really good question.
Considering how many non-BPD are going in, I would like to be there.
I mean, this one's
Alright.
a BPD. This one wanted to join the BPD. Morton's is a BPD.
I just haven't gotten around to
I'm a
actually
BPD.
joining.
Continuing patrol.
Regardless.
I still don't know what we're doing.
All those, I suppose, going into the painting.
To me!
And I want to
We're-
make this
we're going
perfectly
upstairs.
clear. This
Yes,
is not a
so-
place for tourists, and this is not a place just to
No.
take people.
I know. We are not. Them off.
Do not go publicizing this painting's existence.
No.
Uh-oh.
The rest of them don't even know where we're taking them yet.
I thought we lost you for a second.
No, I am not lost. I'm right here.
Be careful, it's bright.
It'll be fine.
Nothing to be.
If anything goes wrong while I'm gone, just, ring me.
I'm going in there.
Alright.
I'm not leaving them all alone.
Fair. And my brain shuts down when my stomach is crafting.
General note, this house isn't entirely accurate. Imagine, if you will, a time-appropriate house without, like, TVs and so forth inside of it. And it's full of random junk. Alright.
Okay.
Now, Welcome to the painting. The house is off limits. Otherwise, don't fall off the edge. There's a greenhouse over there.
There's nothing
sitting
that
areas.
much of interest in the house, last I checked. Cooking and
It's
gardening
not a
books.
matter of touching what's in the house. It's a matter of the person whose stuff is in the house we haven't gone through yet, so I don't want anybody near it.
Oh,
Otherwise,
very well.
welcome
So-
to the garden.
This is the place I was referring to, Rika. There is quite literally no one else but us here.
I can do stuff.
The food you can eat.
The food is indeed adjustable. I forgot that we had
the
food
plants
here.
are real. All this stuff is real.
What are these?
Which also means don't break anything.
Macarons,
Yes.
I remember.
Don't break anything. That's why I don't want anything destructive happening in here.
Besides, if we break it, we'll repair it and pay for it if we cannot repair it ourselves.
If anything it breaks,
With
it's
magic,
down to
replace
the
anything that is broken.
Is this chocolate?
Try it.
No. Don't try it. I mean,
Is
if
it chocolate?
If you want...
Just eat it.
Hold on. I mean, it looks brown enough.
Smells like chocolate.
Yeah, it's definitely chocolate.
Dodge the bullet.
That
You
smells
also
good.
smell orange.
Jeez.
That's a good one.
Where are we? Okay, so I'm going to teach you some stuff today and you some stuff today, alright?
A good place possibly to start is a pavilion, then the path to the left.
That's not what I meant to do at all. Here you go.
And while we're here, I can try that thing with your flower.
Thank you.
Don't.
Right.
Oh, get used to it. Get used to it.
I don't treat you like a normal Fae because I don't see you as a
You're one of
Fae.
the. You're one of the uppers in Mago Simulator. Get used to it. It's going to happen a lot.
I know.
Anyways, onwards and upwards.
I'll meet you guys there.
Okay.
Come on. Lessons about to start. I'll meet you there.
Okay.
Pat.
Better not use that thing. You. I want to say it
No,
again. Better not
no.
use that for anything malicious.
Yeah. You already know me.
I know you.
Come on.
Here's what you get. I didn't pay attention for a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Eos has, I guess a dead flower, just a wilted flower in his hand, and is trying to pour energy in it. It's an attempt to bring it back.
What type of flower is it?
Fuck. I'd have to go and ask again. I'll be back. I forgot.
Okay, is it a mundane flower?
Yes. It's
Okay.
a flower. Yuki gave to it.
Yes, you are able to pour energy into it, and it does, over the course of a minute, come back to life.
Yes, it works. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Go forth, gay one. It's Pride Month.
I will.
Go. Alright.
I wonder why this key is scattered around.
How about you do that thing with your confettis? Still haven't gotten that one.
You want me to teach that spell? Do you want to learn how to make confetti?
Why not?
No, I didn't think so.
I think that'd be funny.
Yeah, they want to learn how to make confetti. Fair. Okay, let me see. I gotta think of a spell that is early enough that it isn't going to be bad for you. Oh, I have a perfect spell.
Covered in leaves.
Have you ever wanted to make everything, well, make specific people quiet?
Did you fall into the bush?
Ooh.
No, I walked into the bush.
So,
Very different.
this is the silence spell that I'm about to teach you. This spell is very basic. Well, not very, but it's pretty basic. So you should both be able to cast it just fine. Essentially, the way that this spell works is either through contact or through intent. You can silence someone who is close to you. The complete range of it I am unaware of, for I have not used the spell particularly much, but I find it can be very useful for certain circumstances, notably if you're about to kill someone and they're screaming.
You know, from the forge.
Indeed.
So there is something cooking in your tummy.
Probably good use for that spell, actually.
For that case, is
I don't know how it works, but I
are
can
going to point at Eos here.
That.
You're going to point at them.
Hello, how are you doing? Yes, hello, yes, point at me.
In your head,
Point at me.
It would be warmer the closer your hand.
you're going to
was.
think to yourself that you want them to be silenced.
I know.
And with that intention on your mind, you're going to say Silente.
Silence me.
Let's see if they spell it right. Oh man.
Pronunciation is key.
Pretty close. I'll send you the correct spelling later. Okay, so as soon as they say that, you know what happens. Just dead silence. No, I said dead silence. You know how this spell works. That's not how that works. You know that's not how that works. Anyways, but there you go. Normally the spell
I could
lasts...
probably charge a fortune if I made an enchanted item that did that.
How long does it last? Normally this spell lasts about 10 minutes. It can last for less amount of time if you're lower on mana, or you can actually technically force it to last for a shorter amount of time, though that's complicated.
I think that mothers everywhere would cry.
Around the good estimate for this
Tears of
spell.
joy.
Dispellere.
I could have done it myself.
You could have,
Either
but you
way.
didn't.
Oh wait,
Moving
Pokemon,
on.
is that the spell that you taught me the other day?
Yes.
No, that's different. Well, Dispellere is the spell I taught you the other day.
Yeah,
I
that
taught you
one. Not
Dispellere.
the silent spell.
No? Okay, we'll get
No.
to that in a second. First, I'm going to teach you something. So, first off, you stand right there. You're going to be the subject again. Again, silence. So you heard everything I just said to them, correct?
Good
I might
stuff.
have to take them out with the
Describe it
boat
back
to one
to
of the
me.
islands.
Point at them, think in my
They're
head.
standing in like the
I
equivalent
want
of a
to be
hallway
silent
when
and say,
this
Silente.
wide area.
Close.
Whatever.
I said it right.
The mages, they're known for doing magic stuff. They're not known for being...
Oh, well, there it is. Anyways,
Smart.
so now I'm going to teach you how to get rid of said spell. So the spell that I'm teaching you now is it's a dispelling spell. It's a very basic. What would you call it? I'm just screwing with you. It's a very basic spell. Essentially, it's a counter spell that, when used, cancels out magic. That being said, it only works on magic that is equal or lower to your ability, or, this is a big or, spells of certain varieties. It is a bit complicated to know which spells it does work on and which ones it doesn't, so you kind of just have to work with it and figure it out as you go. So I can tell you for illusion magic, it tends to have an issue.
I
so that's a
can't
big
do
one.
it. They have to. I would have done it by now. Thanks for the thank you for the. She's like pointing at the flower.
Look, no. That was on purpose. I don't do anything.
Maybe
I trust you.
maybe don't thank the Fae.
You appreciate the Fae.
No offense.
Fine.
This is an
Fine.
unfortunate situation that you
Fine.
find yourself
Fine.
in.
Here.
Because technically
Here.
your attunement
You
has
probably like
literally
this more.
nothing to do with
Instead
that.
of saying,
It is
Instead, I'll
literally
just
based
like-
on experience, practice, time,
bow down to you.
energy types,
I think
and a
you
lot
like
of
that
things.
more.
There's a lot of
One
things that
can
go
talk
in.
normally with
Normally, the
Fae
way that
without
you'll find
having to
out
worry
is
about
in the moment
I'll do
when
that
you
instead.
cast the
Stuff they
spell
do.
to see if it works. A lot of times it won't, sometimes it will. It is very much up in the air until you've done it. Unfortunately, that is how a
I
lot
wonder
of
if
it
such
works.
is
Sure,
even
let me-
possible.
Let me try.
See, that is the better
Dispolare.
question.
No, it doesn't work.
Gotcha.
I can tell you
Ain't
that.
gotcha.
It involves more than just alignment.
That was
I
a
would
good
have
try,
to
though.
understand how it
It-
works to make it.
Okay, let's see. After this question, we're
I
going
need
to
to
go
go
ahead
to
and try to
Everest.
dispel them.
If the
Crab
Is that
also
what we're
needs
on?
to go to Everest. I'm waiting for crab.
Yeah, Grand is unfortunately kind of busy tonight, so probably wait on that one till Saturday. Anyways, onwards. So, much like the last one, you're going to point at him. You're going to think in your head that you want this spell that is currently manifesting on his person to vanish away. Cancel it away, as it were. And you're going to say,
Has there been
Dispellere.
any updates in the outhouses? Oh, no, outhouse. What do they call it? Greenhouses production yet?
You're really close to these spellings. I actually am kind of impressed.
Come on.
Okay, so as soon as you say it, they again can speak, and there you go. You have now learned Dispellere. The dispelling spell, as it were.
I heard that the glass got delivered. Otherwise.
Oh,
Stacks of glass panes.
Yeah.
We might have to check the. We might have to check the bones of the structure itself. However, it seems like it's all set. Otherwise, it's just installing the windows and cleaning out the inside.
Dum, dum, dum. Dum, dum, dum. Yeah, it should probably be stable enough. It could definitely use a better paint job.
Looks like it's rusting, but I don't know if anything actually decays here, so it might just be stuck. Oh wait, there's a bunch of glass. Like, stacks. All along. There we go.
It's fine, I weigh nothing. I step on it, nothing happens. I could step on a bug and nothing would happen at this point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to use it though. The lab is getting cramped.
I'm gonna be excited to see what you might grow here.
A lot of mundane plants. In all honesty. But it'll be a stable source of a lot of necessary staples. We have...
We'd grow so many plants there.
Are you helping teach people?
It's Rika doing the entire lesson.
Oh, okay.
Most of their spells.
I want you to
they
still
have, like,
watch them.
Yeah, I know. I thought you needed extra eyes to follow, not just mine anyways.
We're talking about the reconstruction of this.
Yeah.
We have more than plenty red Anamata mushroom seeds. We have dream lily seeds, nightshade seeds, willow shade fruit seeds, sour grass seeds. We have some plants called Elchivera and Capsicum ragicus. No, just Elchivera. And then those are all the seeds that we currently have. A small selection of the overall wider selection that the inventory currently has, but growing them still, I mean, fuck. The, what was it? The willow shade fruit. That is a key component to making the lamp oil that allows people to rest without sleep. The red automata mushrooms makes the healing potions, dream lilies and nightshades make fairly useful poisons. I would love to get my hands on kelpweed seeds. I think that for the more aquatic ones, possibly the fountains could be or no, not the rivers themselves. Possibly. Right.
Exciting.
And plus there's all these pre-existing shrubs growing on either terraces or they're shrubs themselves, and possibly it can pull them up, tool the soil, and put something new there. Those that don't need to be grown in a temperate controlled. Yeah. Never expected to farm again.
Well, why not? It's a very useful skill.
I haven't been on a farm since I was a child. I just thought that moved on. It's nice, but different. Where'd they go?
Are they right over there?
Right over where?
It's just through here.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see now.
Near the edge.
Okay. It's so bright, I just didn't fucking see people. Alright.
Very fair. I just see blobs from this distance. Dark blob,
I see them now.
Dark blob with a bit of white. White blob with a bit of dark.
What do you think? What do you think of Rika?
She's very curious. I have spent many of conversations just her and me talking about random magic or artifice kind of stuff.
I worry about a lot with them. I know that most likely they're spending more time in the station due to their recent condition. However, they're quite lenient with magic. They are a walking veil breach just waiting to happen.
Yes.
And yet, at the same time, they have a lot of unique skills not currently present in officers. But with their unstable state, they're a liability.
Yeah, I can't say you're wrong with any of those sentences. She is the kind of person, from what I understand, that will try anything at least once. Which has so far been very successful for her, from what I hear. It includes dangerous things as well.
I just hope we don't have to do anything about her. That she can stay as she wants to as an asset and not a threat.
We can hope. On that aspect, I'm very much 50-50 on if anything's gonna happen or not.
I mean, recently, Morgan got hired on for the tower, not as an officer, specifically for the tower. As a private investigator, to be able to do hits where the police badge shouldn't be present, so to say. I suspect that there may come a day where a similar agreement might befall Rika with Aster and Berman.
That could possibly be. Especially if she manages to figure out how to control all that eldritch stuff.
It'll allow her to pursue what she wants to do and teach it to those that I suppose she deems worthy. But continue the understanding that this is not meant for public eyes.
That would be a nice deal. I know for a fact she wishes that it was for public eyes.
I've seen what happens to people when they get a glimpse into something that they shouldn't. I think. Some people might view it as a blessing, but for a lot of people it can become a curse. It can destroy them from the inside out. The world doesn't have to know.
I think it's very situational.
Of course it's situational.
The Veil holds back both a lot of evils, but also a lot of goods. I choose not to question how the Veil works. I'm not that high up. I just do what I do. But I do often see things from the people in the Syndicate RP and wonder if that wouldn't be better spread more widely. And then I also remember how my son described that trip to a record store. And I question how people take things.
There's definitely little things that would be nice. You know, like, I suppose some of those spells, some alchemy, definitely. There are things that would benefit the world. But then you also get run-of-the-mill people learning how to open black holes in the middle of the street. People turning into monsters in ways that they can't control. Wars.
Certainly. Well, it seems a war's gonna happen anyway, considering fucking that thing Mr. Morton did to become king.
Well, then there's also...
Like was a whale breach.
I don't think there's any denying this. You know what we need to keep hidden, that's all that matters. And it's at the very least what's in the outside.
Definitely.
And I suppose in some ways, a bit of what happens with fairies.
A bit, yeah. Though perhaps fairy tales with warnings should become a bit more prevalent. Just so even if people don't know that they exist, they still hear the sentence, "Can I have your name?" and start getting skeptical. For their own safety.
It'd be nice. Wouldn't it? You asked about my rough voice earlier.
Yes.
I don't know how else to describe this, but I had one of the worst nightmares I've ever had in my entire life. Worse than normal, worse than the 2 weeks of clowns. It was like everything wrapped up into one. And it just didn't stop. So I'm just a bit shaken up, I suppose.
That's fair, yeah. We were close to some pretty nightmarish stuff yesterday as well. It wouldn't surprise me if that awoke something.
I noticed whenever he used the word mortal, you got upset.
I'm surprised no one else did.
I'd like to keep my eye on you. I don't know what that was. It might have been nothing.
Yeah, it might just been a bit of an AFK moment.
I should have said that the house was the AFK area. Oh well.
Or a small group is fine.
If I may ask, what bothers you about that word? Or suppose how it's used?
How it's used would probably be the best way to call it, consider it. Calling someone mortal in that way specifically is just a way to look at someone as if they're below you.
I definitely think that they intend for it to be either demeaning or identifying, but at the end of the day, they were a whack job.
It's not the first way that does done it. It seems to be common language over there almost.
And it won't be the last, but I suppose... Are they immortal? It might be... maybe something like a cultural difference.
Oh, that's another thing. I hate this cultural difference they have. Listening to him yesterday is not the first time I've had to try and deal with them and their cultural differences. It's like arguing with children.
I definitely understand it. I lost my cool nearing the end of that. But it seemed like it got through, so...
You wanna know how different talking to him being not mentally well and talking to a mentally well Fae is?
Oh.
Nothing's different. Actually, he might have been easier to talk with.
I think Eos is pretty easy to deal with.
I would barely consider him one of them, honestly. Him and Shiva, I think, were both born on this side.
What if they can't help it?
Not being able to help it is a weak excuse. I've seen kinfolk use that excuse to explain why they do horrible things.
I can't say I have the most experience, but... I mean, let's take Connor, for example. He said, what, thank you 5 times to me in the process of trying to give as much information as he could. He was a concerned brother. It seemed like whatever standard he possibly was trying to uphold slipped away as he began to care about something else. I'm not going to hold it against him. But at the same time, it's something that he now has to be saddled with.
And that's the thing, it's not something they would have to be settled with if they just understood the cultural differences.
Well, no, what I'm trying to say is, if they can't help it, if that's part of their existence as a being of whatever it is they are, magic, so forth. If saying something as simple as thank you to the wrong person can result in something like what happened to Ardent, I don't know.
Well, wouldn't that still also only be if the other person followed the same thought process?
If they took advantage of it, I suppose, but that results in who's a bad person or who's a good person.
Yes, but if, for example, 2 Fae just said thank you to each other and did not have any thoughts about, oh, now they owe me, it would be a simple exchange that did not require more thought. It wouldn't be a predatory exchange like it is now.
Maybe it's a curse. Like how demons exist, like how angels exist. Maybe it's... I'm not trying to excuse them, but that just might be how they exist.
Well, again, while I can't really talk too much about heavenly beings, because the only ones I know are borderline not heavenly, but from what I've seen with demons, while they have the ability to make contracts and stuff, they don't really seem to... It's not like you just thank one and now you're in debt for it forever. They seem very much set on contracts to be a thing.
Again, that's why I'm not saying that a Fae is exactly the same. I'm just saying that it might be something along those lines of they exist in a specific way. And they die in a specific way, and we live and die.
Pretty sure Fae are mortal the same way the rest of us are. I mean, I've seen Eos get into more scraps than most of us. I'm pretty sure he's been near death a couple of times.
It might be something like until killed, otherwise.
I think I heard Shiva died once as well. Not sure how he came back though, but I'm not gonna question
I'll also
that
say
with a
that
second.
Ardent mentioned assassinating a fairy as if it was something that was expected, almost. You know?
I mean, it sounded like he came from
Something that was
kind
expected of him.
royalish place. If I remember correctly with history, royals have had a large history of, well, assassinations.
So, maybe they are immortal. And the only way to go is if somebody makes you go.
So like lobsters.
What?
Lobsters. They do not die by age, they just keep growing.
That true?
As far as I know. And the animal books.
Strange. Don't tell Asher. I don't want an Officer Snippy. I don't want Officer Snippy. Asher doesn't need to know.
I'd rather a lobster than a sea cucumber.
I think he's putting something weird in the tanks. I swear I saw something in there, but I wasn't sure what, and he won't tell me what he does with his cucumber.
Wait, those tanks in the laboratory, aren't they? And then as the armor, I'd like to demand he explain something, or he can't play with things in there. It's a laboratory, it's important that a place is, like, properly documented, cleaned, served. Especially with all the ingredients.
I think I can tell him to do something. I can tell him to keep a log of exactly everything that he does with the tanks to ensure that the laboratory maintains a biohazard standard of no biohazards.
Certainly, certainly. He's not somebody I would trust with just casual access to important areas like the laboratory, honestly.
Exactly, that's why I hope that the fish can possibly move here! Out of the lab! Because it's not... I understand Lobelia's fish because it is a strange and unique fish. The goldfish... I don't want them. And his sea cucumber... I don't know why he has it. He just wants a pet. At least on the plus side, this pet can't talk, can't do anything other than bottom feed.
That's honestly the reason why I don't think it would make a good officer. At least with my junior squad, they
Oh,
can
it's
communicate.
it's not an officer. Oh, he can call it an officer all he wants. He can call it an officer all he wants to. It's never going to be an officer. I don't think it even has a brain.
Yeah, no, I think it's just nervous system. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I read about sea life. Okay, no one's fallen off yet.
I really hope they don't fall. I don't want to figure out what happens. If they do, I really don't.
Well, I mean, I also hope none of them get hurt, but I'm very curious on what would happen.
I mean, it's the dark part of all of us that's curious. Got him. Yes, certainly. Walk through the painting and you'll be back on the second floor. And from there, go downstairs. Here, come on. From here, make your way back to Babylon, and Jesse will walk you to the staircase door. So you can pop back in the station.
Whoop. Rika said to talk to you about getting back.
Go through the painting. In a similar sense as I just told them, Jesse will walk you to the staircase door so you can pop back in first floor of the station.
Alright.
Woo!
You know, there's a couple of gears just lying around here. I wonder what they were used for.
Who knows? I am endlessly curious about the source of this painting. Where did they go? Oh, there.
To quicker casting.
Alright.
Either way, Autumn was surprised I was able to pull this off. I want to do triple so badly.
Oh, you mean the fairy one, yes? Yeah. Help.
This is nice though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them. They did teach me a spell though, so I can appreciate that. Oh, let me rephrase that. They gave me information that helps me learn new spells.
I wonder if it's taken from somewhere that exists or was made by someone's mind alone and shaped.
Who knows? The fact that it's all real is curious. And yet, apparently it seems to just be endless if you try to leave this rock.
Which is the quite opposite of our other painting, from what I've been told at least.
And then also, it's always sunny here. I don't think this place is a real place on Earth, however, it is real in its own right.
Definitely real, yes.
But I would love to figure out how to make one of these.
That is on my to-do list to try and see if I can identify. Oh boy, there's a lot of things on that to-do list.
As always.
And I gotta DM people on days where they aren't busy to figure it out.
They're always going to be busy, and the questions anyway. Or always at your discretion.
I see, we have that pendant that I'm curious if I can replicate the effects of. I wonder if I can replicate the effects of either painting.
That was an excellent joke.
Because if they work in two different ways, there might be entirely different setups for creation.
X-Men movie, Storm says, "Hey, Toad, do you know what happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning?" And he goes, what?" And he goes, "The same thing that
Or
happens."
perhaps they're made the same way, but one was made of a location, and the other was just made of someone's fantasy. All curious thoughts.
Remind me which spell I taught you and I'll send it. Okay. Brain is fried. Can I just real quick with that you want me to cast every single spell you No, just do it. You know how to spell Latin.
Anyways.
No, but I meant like character, whatever.
I was told to go back to the station if I want to do Eldritch stuff. Is that true?
I told them not to bring Eldritch here.
Don't bring Eldritch here.
Ding ding! Going to this.
So wait, is that a yes though? Is that a yes that I can do it in the station?
No.
What are you trying to Eldritchify in the station?
I was going to mix it with one of my spells.
Oh no, we're not bringing that in the station. Nah. Nah.
Fine.
Wait for Aster, and then do a little session in the outside. How about that?
That might call for unwanted
I could just go to
attention.
I could just go to the outside myself if I wanted to.
Yes, but with Aster's supervision in case something.
It is fine.
does-
No worries. I'll find
No,
somewhere to do it. Big grin.
You're not listening. What you're talking about is extremely dangerous.
Oh, I know.
Do not be an idiot about it.
I'm not an idiot. I work with danger every day. Magic is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah?
If we want a safe spot to test questionable things, there is still that partially radioactive island that no one lives on.
Wait, partially radioactive?
There's
Hold
a
up now, you
mine
skipped over a part there.
radioactive.
What?
That's where I found my cat.
No. No.
Regardless, we should probably head back. We're done here for the day. For the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Thank you for allowing us to use it. It was pleasant.
Mm.
It's not often that I can practice magic in a place that is not a back alley.
Not a single plant was harmed in our spellcasting.
You see
Yes.
essentially a painting of the station where it is pointed back out towards. It's like the armory.
Brilliant.
Once in, Jesse will walk everybody to the stairs, and we can start back at the bottom of the stairs of the station.
Sounds like a plan.
To Babylon.
To be blah, to blah.
One moment. I can actually give you like who are the teachers for each one.
I mean, I have all the skills
Alright.
for her.
You know, I should try to see if I can get a deed for that radioactive island.
Not for this avatar, but you learn them, and once you learn them, you don't have to do them again. And it's not in character, so you can learn
I
like.
don't know if that thing is even part of Babylon, or part of like a U.S. territory of Louisiana.
You know it.
Excitement.
1, 2.
Gonna do Eldritch Mage Hand.
Oh no.
Please don't.
I already did stack electricity.
not be in Babylon, but considering
Nobody
that's
caught me. I was on the beach.
Then nobody caught you because you were lucky.
Caught me because an officer saw me and then saw that I was an officer and was like, "You're free to be here."
Was it Asher?
I don't remember who it was. I think it was one of your just like Dirks that was patrol.
There's either Ash of Vulcan.
Or how long ago was this?
This was not that long ago. This was literally. Oh, it couldn't have been that long ago. I just became Eldritch like what, 2 weeks ago? A week and a half ago? Week and a half ago?
Look, I can barely hear shit. Leave me alone.
It's okay.
Do not touch me. Alright.
Oh, sorry.
Real
Sorry.
quick.
One.
Real quick.
If you want to clean crime.
Can I use the icy wind as air conditioner?
Yes, as long as you don't overdo it. If you overdo, they'll freeze everything in the room.
It does have a veil breach on it.
What do you
so
mean
maybe we
overdo
can
it?
confiscate the small island.
Explosive stuff, so you probably want to learn.
I don't know who that island belongs to.
I mean, like, if you overdo it, the entire room is going to be covered in ice, and anyone who's living in it is going to be frozen to death.
How to make guns. You can learn gunsmithing.
No,
Yeah, that's what she's going to be learning.
just want little air conditioners.
So I can
I like that you're like,
He wants to
man,
invent air
Eldritch Mage
conditioning.
Hand bad. This one's like, oh man, I'm gonna use this ice spell that I know can freeze people to death as your air conditioning.
Air conditioning is a valiant pursuit.
Like, oh, it's getting hot in this office. See, let me help you.
I can't wait for Rika to come by the office one day and be like, hey guy, half the people in here are dead because they got frostbite.
Well,
So you can be learning.
Ha, I have a way to beat frostbite.
So what's the worst that could happen with Eldritch Mage Hand? I feel like the worst that could happen is I have an Eldritch Arm now. I feel like that's the worst.
but like you say, oh no, an Eldritch Arm, as if that's not a bad thing.
I have an order
Dude.
arm.
And
My
also,
scale for
like,
what's bad
I've
is like through the roof.
I've seen the list of Eldritch potions.
Okay, no one is voting.
Not all of them are worth pursuing.
Eldritch Magic, Eldritch Magic.
Okay,
Anyways,
let's
my,
go.
My bad for the wait. I had to use the bathroom.
You're good. We're gonna rock and roll. I gotta go find the cat.
There you can like state what you are like.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the times you
Like
could
right now?
take those classes and such.
Wait.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right. One, two. All right. Into the door.
What you did.
What did I? Hi. Hey, crimes.
What did you
there have
do?
no been crimes.
You were born short.
I am not short.
Yes.
Your
Look
friend
at
in the
me.
that
I am
had purple
exactly
hair
the
was
same
here
height
for
as
you
you.
earlier.
Why is he
You
on
have
about
purple
that?
My
hair?
neck hurts by looking at you.
Yeah, because you have to look up.
Like
Because
you
I'm
mean red
towering
hair?
over you.
No.
Oh,
go find out.
right.
I'm
Hey, Asher.
not short.
I can't remember.
Come over here for a second.
Can did see purple?
Yes.
Currently, those fish are staying in the lab, and I would like a more detailed report of what goes on with those fish tanks. So please, to maintain a more biohazard-friendly environment of no biohazards in the laboratory, could you please keep a chart of what you do with the fish tanks? When you feed them, if you add anything, when you swap out the water, and when you clean up the stations.
Right. I actually just fed the fish
little bit ago
Mm-hmm.
with the fish food we got from the fish store, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
still working on how to exactly get food for Officer Cumber, but he seems to be fine. I mean, his tank is it's supposed to be dirty because he eats algae, right? It's supposed to be kind of. So I mean,
Well, just whatever you do with those fish tanks, feed them, clean them, put anything else in them. Please just write it down.
right.
Make a little
Where
micro
is this
report
chart
so
located?
forth. We can go make a chart right now.
All right, let's go make a chart.
Hello, Mortons.
Hello.
Nothing really happened. Blair came in and checked up on me, but there was one thing that, well, actually, would it really? I don't think it actually would be suspicious. Asher came running in with a bag and ran back out.
Yeah, that sounds like something he would do.
Hmm. Did you want to see?
No. Just checking
All
up on
right.
some things.
All right. It was really hard to get to sleep last night, Martins.
Understandable.
Orphans, where's Eos?
I have absolutely no clue.
I brought one of the suspects.
What?
Eh?
Oh, that would be the
You're apparently a
last one,
suspect for
isn't it?
something. Yes, indeed.
What was the name again? Lotus? Was that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
Oh boy, did EOS come back out?
I thought I saw Eos run out.
You saw Eos run out? Okay, just sit on a couch, I'll go get Eos.
Always so fast.
Nothing. Just a little tired, that's all.
Understandable. Just gonna stand here.
found the last suspect, and you're
Alright.
still telling me I can't do it anywhere? Rude.
Correct. Which one of you is gonna take notes? I'm not doing them.
Sneaks away.
I can.
Good.
You know what?
Hi.
No, I have to go find my cat.
Hi.
I'll be out and about.
Okay. Bye. Would you prefer me with or without your coat? Ooh, actually, Morton's the ring. I'm going to borrow it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Do you still have it?
Clean.
Yeah, just... Ding!
Of course I have it. I kind of need that.
Good. Anyways, now that this is settled, let us go on, shall we?
I have a sneaking suspicion I know what this is about, but sure, lead the way.
Follow me. Oh, sucks. We'll get your mugshot done first and foremost. We can add that lovely picture in your folder.
Am I under arrest for any reason?
It's more for formality.
Currently, yes.
May I ask
Speaking
what
of
for?
arrest, false imprisonment.
Excuse me?
Correct. That thing on the beach is classified as false imprisonment. Yeah,
Me burying someone slightly in the sand and then just leaving it be is false imprisonment when they had the ability to dig themselves out at any point prior to other people
yes,
messing with it.
because that short window span of which they could just lift themselves up. Also, there were folks that told us you were still holding onto them tightly.
I was sitting on one of the chairs. I had Dr. Maria sitting with me. They were sitting on my lap.
Yes.
I wasn't touching Marrow. I'm
It's-
assuming that's who this is about.
Correct. But this is
It was
about the
shoulder
sand trapping
press
thing.
into sand. What is this about then?
This sand trapping thing. That's about it. That's literally it. Look, this is stupid.
It's
Every
the
single other
beach, it's-
person. Yes,
Okay.
it's Babylon County. It's look. I'm sorry that they press charges and I have to apply them. Look, every other one went through it. You're the last one on our list.
This is okay.
It's stupid.
I mean,
Actually,
Just
before you go
laying
in,
in the sand. I'm so glad your police force is
Oh
listening
god,
to people.
please don't
That's
begin. We
stellar.
already have Yami shitting on us for doing our job.
It was literally playing in the sand. I don't know what this is about. This is ridiculous.
The entire situation is what it's about.
Yes.
Get it over with.
I was going to say I need to remove that jug of sand out your back as well as to search you before we take your picture, but we can do that afterwards. Look at whichever wall you feel like, left or right, doesn't matter. You're the first person I think that actually flipped that way. They usually stick to the other way. Either way, let's get out.
You said pick a wall.
You search. Indeed. The other ones look the other way. Before we move to the next room, I'll have to search you, so please open your arms. I won't make this any weird. I'm not doing a full search, I'm just light tapping. And by the way, out of character, because I have the ring, you don't feel any burning.
Delightful. I appreciate it. The only two
Okay,
things you would
nothing
find
in
on
the
her
arms.
person, at least on the belt, would be a bag of dried pieces of flesh and a room key. And the gourd, obviously.
Yeah, alright. I'll have to take those. You'll get them back as soon as you're out of here. We won't touch him in any way, shape, or form.
With
there
me
anything
not
else I need to worry
directly.
about?
Well, it's like my shoe can be turned into a weapon. No.
I meant anything hidden you wish to not hid. I'm definitely not checking under your skirt.
I mean, I'm wearing pants. It's fine. But no, there's nothing hidden.
Cool. I'll deposit all of this. And while we're at it, we can get you seated in the interrogation room. We'll pile up the facts, make sure they're matched, and charge you.
Okay.
You said you were Imperial, yes? Which one?
Yes, main house.
Main house. Is there anyone
It's
you
on the
want us
board.
to...
There's.
Oh, it's on the good... Oh. Is there anyone right now you want us to contact to fetch for you? That you can pay your bail? I assume you don't have 27,000 on hand.
Oh, I don't have 27,000 on hand, and I don't know anyone directly in the Imperial House that would be able to pay it.
Fine, Zeph.
The only one who this topic has come up with previously was Miss Shion when she spoke to me about it last night.
Yeah. We'll do that later, whatever. Just follow me. There you go, you can make yourself comfortable in the furthest chair. I'll deposit your items and I'll be back. Right. Ready to take notes, note keeper?
Yep.
Good. Do you want to do your mental connections thing to Sapphire so I can come and hoist this one out? Maybe if he wants to, if he's still alive.
I can ask him.
I mean, he's still Imperial, so I wouldn't see why he would say no. Unless you want us to ask someone else. There are other folks in town that are Imperial.
I don't really know who I would be able to ask.
Do you think Hawk would have enough?
Hawk
Probably,
would definitely
right?
have enough, yeah.
Hawk would definitely have. Do you think he'd be better off
I'm on good
paying
terms
than
with Hawk,
Zeph?
but I would rather not ask him to pay for this, especially if the situation doesn't call for it.
Well, it's either that or you spend like a week or 2 or 3 jail.
A year.
For putting someone into the sand up to their
Yes,
knees.
I
On a
understand it is
beach.
stupid. I am literally just here applying protocol. Like, I'm sorry. Look,
Again, it's
stupid
not
as
for
well.
the
Look,
one thing, it's for the entire
I'm
situation.
not the most familiar with laws here compared to Egypt, but I don't see how me putting someone in the sand that started as just a joke that they were laughing about too pulls to charges of imprisonment. I didn't bury them to their neck. I didn't lock them in a tomb or tie them up like one of the fucking demons did that showed up later.
So,
I buried them to their knees and then I sat back down. We were just playing around.
Someone in Egypt lit up a cigarette near a gas station. It blew up, killing a few and lighting up an entire block. After, just dropping the cigarette and the cigarette rolling onto gas. That kid died for its charges.
Congratulations. That has nothing to do with this situation, is my point.
Still an
We were
Egyptian
on a
kid.
beach. It was just a bit of fun. because of the light teasing between Meryl and Oscar. A lot of people see them as a cute couple. I was trying
They
to just
didn't.
play
The
along
light
with
teasing
everyone.
went overboard. People stacked onto the current pieces until it fell.
Yes, it was stacked with Bologna coming over and freezing their hands together, and Freeze using rope and pulling them close to the point where their heads were touching. I had them 2 feet apart in the sand, just up to their knees.
And we double charged Freeze for false imprisonment and assault. What do you want me to say? He had to pay double. Let's just get this over with real quick. Please state your name fully so that we can write it down.
Lotus Sakansu.
Spell that last one.
S-A, an apostrophe, K-H-O-N-S-U.
Sakonshu. Okay. That makes sense. So, do you mind giving us your retelling of what happened on the beach of that event, start to finish? In your greatest details, please.
From what I can recall, Meryl had come over and was doing what she always does. She was lightly teasing me and also insulting me. There's a bit of a grudge match between us, I will admit that. Started in Egypt. Then Oscar came over and they were flirting with Oscar, and everyone noticed that they were flirting with Oscar. And I said, well, if you two are going to act like a couple...
Because everyone is a generalized term.
Everyone who was there, Miss Mary, who was sitting in my lap, the Sidewinder Dawn was there. I don't know their name. Pretty sure there was another BPD officer there. I don't remember. I remember someone said they were an officer. And Oscar was there as well. The two had gotten up. They were close to each other, being flirty. And I said, well, let's just move this along. And I moved them like a foot over, and I just pushed them into the sand slightly. And I said, there you go. And I sat back down. The doctor sat back on my lap. And then we just watched them sit in the sand for a little bit. Freeze came over and asked what was going on. We told him, so he produced the rope and started doing that. And then Bologna saw what was going on. They came over. They did the whole Freeze stick their hands together. I don't know. I stopped paying attention to that point because it stopped being funny.
Yes.
I didn't care. I wasn't going to make the effort to step in. I know both Freeze and Bologna could probably stop me from stopping them. They were having fun. I saw no issues with it.
I'm sorry, that's an argument? I didn't do it because the people there could probably... Everyone can kill me. Everyone can kill you. Well-placed bullet is all it takes. Or both of us.
So I've learned.
Yes. That still doesn't
My
mean
point
we'll shoot
being,
you for
my
it.
point being, I didn't want to intervene. I just sat back down and went back to doing my thing.
Whatever.
Mary and I were
Each day,
enjoying
right?
drinks.
Just want a vibe.
Just wanted a vibe. And then they got way too into it with the rope and things. Then when it was announced that Meryl didn't like the situation and that they were going to, make a big deal about it, I remember Miss Shion came back over and cut the ropes.
Yep.
And then someone else dug them out.
Yep.
And then not 10, 15 minutes later, they came back over and got into a shouting match with Miss Mary.
Yep.
Which was unjustified because Mary didn't even do anything that was included.
So,
but they
for
unleashed all of
context
their
for the
anger and their
shouting
frustration
match,
on them.
Mary said that they were supporting them, but Meryl got angry because if you say you're supporting something, then you're supposed to act. which Mary didn't. Therefore, Meryl found
Mary
excuse
was
or reason to yell at Mary.
Mary was drinking and was focused on talking with me as we were in the middle of a conversation both before, during, and after the situation happened.
Yep. I saw you two the entire rest of that night, pretty much. Actually, I haven't even introduced myself, have I? Just know me as Tattooed. Well, let me change that real quick. I am Captain Alice. Captain is the title, not the first name. People around here call me Alice. Or from what you've heard, others call my first name Eos.
Well, I would say it's a pleasure, but given the current circumstances.
The circumstances, yeah, I understand. It's a little shitty, to be honest. I hope you understand I'm not actively doing this out of pleasure.
I'm aware.
I'm doing this because law, I have to law.
I understand the concept of law. Despite what people say about my country, it is not just savages. However, I feel like the
I
way
never
you
went
are
to Egypt.
going down your system is unneededly archaic, and that's coming from someone who you have classed as a third world.
I haven't.
Why am I already underneath a full charge with getting my items taken from me, arrested, and a charge put on me of cash before I had even provided my story?
Because we already
Is it
knew
not
how
more
to
commonplace?
process this. Because we had a report given of what happened, and then we went down a list of, okay, what would that possibly be charged for? Yes, that, okay. Let's interrogate all of them, follow the protocol to make sure they don't carry a weapon in here. Because, you know, things can get ugly real quick in a heated situation. We don't want that. Hell, usually we handcuff you guys. And we don't let you out of your handcuffs. How many have we handcuffed? 0. Why? Because we know we can settle this peacefully. By peacefully, I mean, not much you can do about it. Other than worsen your case by
I'm
fighting.
still just confused as to how getting partially buried in the sand constitutes a degree of this. Instead of just, I apologized to them, I said I was sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm still on their shit list, but
I know.
This just resolves why they're still on mine.
Touche. I think both of them did mention you their reports. They went separately on 2 different days. Give what happened on the beach. A lot of people seem to be confused on what Bologna did.
I don't know. Like I said, I stopped
Some
paying attention.
mention ice, some mention her rings, some mention... I don't know myself, I was too tired.
I
after
remember
Disintegration
something
to
about
go to
ice
bed.
that wouldn't melt towards the tail end of it, because their hands were stuck together. That's about it.
Whatever. I could try to maybe see if I would be able to talk to one of my higher ups to see if we could lighten up your bail. Don't know if that would be possible. Because again, what you did is just buried them in the sand. It's the dominoes effect that we're trying to catch up. And we went downstream, literally. So after just... Did you push them or did you move the sand below them so they would fall? Or lower?
hand on the shoulder, and I just gently pushed down. Due to my innate abilities, I am able to just manipulate the sand beneath them. So it's just a matter of the sand is loose, I push them into it.
Okay. But it was not constricting, it was just sand.
They could have pulled themselves
Nothing.
out if they put in 2, maybe 3 minutes of effort. It's just sand up to the knees.
I thought you were going to say brain cells.
Well, that would be giving her a bit too much credit.
Touche.
You mean them?
Mortons, do you know if Aster was around? Or Vermin?
The high ups around? Like casually?
Great.
I think you're high enough rank to make a decision if required, if no one else of higher rank is around.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Well, currently the highest rank would be Jesse. If Jesse is still in the station, if you would like to do a quick sweep, I think I'd appreciate a co-mind sharing this.
I'll
If you have
give
an
it a quick
opinion on
look.
it, feel free as well.
My opinion is easy enough. Somebody started the situation and did nothing when it came out of whack. They're definitely still guilty, but considering others have paid double, we could probably make them pay half.
Alright.
That's still a lot of money, though.
Could you please
Whatever, go get Jesse.
In action for
I've
something
been
you
here for
started still a
maybe
crime.
2 weeks.
about this suspicious activity?
I wasn't aware that playfully burying someone in the sand because they were being cute with somebody else would result in me having to pay money.
Again, not the start, the entire thing. You are an accomplice of something. It's not a difficult concept.
I understand the concept, but when you have...
I mean, also her charge was paid. Because yes, she was also on the list.
Yeah,
Or
I
just
thought
pulling
definitely.
Meryl by the scruff of the neck. The highest office in the god. Whatever.
There's still the sitting issue of I don't have money. I have not obtained a job here. I have no way to acquire funds.
Okay. Currently, the way it happened with everyone else, that you either have the money right now, or someone else pays for you. There are a lot of people that can just pick from vaults or their pockets. You said you had a good relationship with Hawk, right?
Yes, and he just gifted me a set of armor.
Ooh,
I would hate to
really...
ask him to pay a bail.
I wouldn't.
Where was this?
I can ask him to pay a bail. Like, if this is a show of guilt, just let me be your voice. I'll handle the bash of it, not you.
Sure.
This is your concern, yeah. I'll still charge you for false imprisonment. Everyone else got it. I'm sorry. I know it's stupid, but you'll have to work with it.
Go see if Hawk can do it, I guess.
I mean, it's either swap places with Morton's, hunt him down, I let Morton's go and I stay with you here, or I put you in a jail cell while waiting and then I'll go. Don't worry, the jail cell is not non-magical. It would be fine if you sat in it for a few minutes.
The only other thing or person I could think of to go to would potentially be Vadim. But again,
I can do both.
I'm new. I don't want to impose on them with the question of, hey, I'm new, come bail me out because I fucked up and broke a law somehow.
Morton's, let's tag team. I'll let you the conversation. Oh, you're already here. I thought you were across the wall. Oh.
Well, did we figure
I
out
guess
if we
he
wanted to
should
give
be
them the
comfy.
full bail or like half it or something?
Look, Miss Shion tugged on the rope and she got it, so everyone else got it. I'm sorry. It's copy
I was
pasting.
just checking.
Yeah. I'll be back. Be quick.
Actually, if I'm guessing correctly, Vadim is probably currently being either carried around or cuddled by a giant bird.
Probably not being carried around. They requested not to be parted about anymore.
Ah, surprising. They didn't seem to have an issue with it last time I saw them. Hmm. I was about to say if it had been halved, I could probably pay for Hawk. He's a good friend of mine as well. Let's just hope he's actually in town today then. Well,
He was. I was sitting with him when Rika collected me.
Ah, okay, good. I know sometimes those Imperials don't leave the fort for weeks upon weeks. I'm curious, what made you go to Babylon instead of Egypt?
Wasn't necessarily given a choice. When the Scions were in Egypt, when Airmolder visited, he revealed the nature of who he was to me. Because he wanted to make sure he knew someone on the inside could keep an eye on the Scions, as it were. After the Scions were excommunicated by the order of Pharaoh Hannibal, push came to shove, and he showed back up a few weeks later, calling me a liability, and dragged me here after deleting my city. With the help of one of your officers, I might add. The one in the trench coat.
Huh. From what I've heard, Asta wasn't allowed to do anything. And he wouldn't really have been on board with the deletion of the city. I think it was just beyond doing that. Which sounds incredibly like a veil breach, honestly. Might have to ask my house.
Considering my entire city was already within the veil, in terms of what we knew and what went on. One of our guards was an Anubite, same as me. We had gods walking our streets on a relatively regular basis. In terms of the hub of Egypt, we were one of the center points.
Yeah, then that place being gone now sounds like a bigger liability than anything else, I'll be honest. Wouldn't surprise me if they hadn't thought that through, though. They're not exactly known for being smart.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Out of character, how long have I been here at the station now? Like 20 minutes?
God, who knows? I have not taken time. As I said, we started almost as I began my crafting, so all around 12 an hour now.
Okay. Then, yeah. If/when I am bailed and released, when y'all go to retrieve my items, the gourd is now just sand.
Do not worry, I'll bag the sand up for you.
Part of the trick of it is the gourd itself is made of sand, and it's just a slight bit of energy consistently pumped into it to hold shape.
Ah, I mean, that's pretty clever.
Mm-hmm.
Sand manipulation. I wonder if I can copy that with enchantment. Ooh, that's my crafting that as well. Woohoo!
I'm not sure if you could copy it or not, but it is by default an innate Anubite ability, although it does have to be honed over time.
Fair, most abilities do, unfortunately.
After completing my training with Anubis, I was able to create walls, travel through the sand at high speeds, and what one of your scions deemed surf on the sand, and use it to propel myself forward without moving.
Ah. I mean, all those skills do sound really useful in a place that's all sand.
Kind of a bit harder and here. Hence why I was in the habit of carrying it around.
Yeah, that's understandable. I can imagine dirt as well would be much harder than sand to deal with.
Sand is technically just stone, but broken down and refined. So the earth itself might be a little more difficult for me to deal with, but
Have you tried?
no, nor do I intend to at the moment. My focus is on sand constructs.
Very fair.
To my understanding, the Colosseum operates on a similar logic of creates thing out of the sand and it's sentient and it can do things, and then when you're done with it or you defeat it, it goes away.
I have heard such conversations, yeah. I question a lot about the Colosseum personally. Every time I hear something about it, it just doesn't sound real.
What the fuck? Turn my camera on somehow. The Colosseum itself, I don't know. It is a bit of an enigma to me as well. But so is how most of the Lichdom operates and most of this country as a whole.
Yeah, I understand that. Every time I look deep into it, it's like I'm reading a book that somebody was half drunk while writing. It just doesn't make sense all the time. So I try not to look deeper. I try to stick myself to my crafting and just stay.
I am innately curious, so I do try to look deeper than what is on the surface, but sometimes that doesn't go well.
Yeah, yeah. If you look at the wrong thing sometimes, it can have terrible consequences. I fortunately have
I'm
been
not
able
saying
to
I
keep
do it
myself away from
blindly,
that.
but
Sometimes you can't be prepared for everything. I know a couple of my officers that have looked at the wrong thing at the wrong time and it's ended up horrible for them.
can't prepare for everything, unfortunately.
but we can definitely try. How long can it take to capture one wet man?
Well, they were also trying to find Vadim, I believe.
Okay, red-haired cat, wet man. These are very prominent people. It should not be this hard to find them.
You say that, but sometimes people don't wish to be found, or they're predominantly busy with something.
Congratulations! You're free to go. I'll pick up your items.
Speaking of the devil.
What do I have to go apologize for?
I'm Fey, not demonic. That would be my dead ex.
Oh, Shiva.
Here's your
By the way,
door,
that gourd
your
is
bag.
just sand. It is just sand.
Here's your pile of sand.
Thanks.
So,
assuming it's in a tray of some kind.
Yes, it is.
It reforms and thump.
Your ring.
Ah, perfect. One of these days into one of these. Maybe when I can buy
One
a
of these
shaman
is
shop
only
set
one
up.
man.
I mean, you can buy your own one of these raids. It'll
Either
just be
way.
2 million.
I'm not made of money.
I know.
But you may think
Fucking
hard.
aggravated.
I'm hitting whichever one of you did it.
I have too much money.
Negative.
It'll bounce off of my cash armor.
27,000 worth of pennies.
Yep.
Well, no, that's done. And this case has been properly closed.
thank
Yay.
God.
That was the last one of them.
I'm gonna go see if the Cerberus CEO is dating a goat now. Bye.
Much appreciated for your patience.
What?
Again, sorry for you. And
Sure.
no,
You don't
no,
have to
it's fine,
apologize
it's
to
fine.
me.
Why would you apologize either way?
At the end of the day, it's just going through the due process, I suppose.
Exactly. Come on.
But I thank you for your
Let's go.
cooperation.
All of them did. No handcuffs needed. Everyone told their tale. No threatening. No nothing. Just pure hospitality.
Have a good evening.
You too. If there's anything that might come up from your side of things, I don't mind taking a look.
You might
Elaborate.
have a couple of prisoners that need possible looking at in terms of medical condition. But that can wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You can
indeed.
find me up at the hotel or in my office.
Appreciated.
Jesse?
Hmm?
About that person that came to you earlier about the suspicious activity.
Yep.
They, had gone into the sewer already.
Gross.
Yes, that's what they had said.
Don't
And,
smell my feet.
were they still in there, Eos?
No, when I looked, well, first of all, I didn't see that far. Second of all, I didn't hear anything that was
If you go and run into the sewers,
human-like.
you must be incredibly desperate to get away from something.
I'm surprised they survived.
Because apparently our... What is her name? Because I don't think I've ever caught her name, Eos.
Rika.
Because apparently he saw He originally came in due to reports of suspicious activity, and what he described
I
was
caught a glimpse
Rika...
of them climbing out. However, I'm pretty sure they teleported in some fashion, because when I tried to meet them on the other hand, I was not able to find them.
If they continue to act like an absolute lunatic through the city, I don't want anybody to hesitate putting them behind bars.
What he described was
We don't
dark,
need that.
was dark magic, giant red hand and an eyeball came out of the ground.
They tested it.
What?
Huh.
That's what he said.
Oh, the actual. Why would he be red?
You
Because
expect
it's
me
eldritch
to know?
and fucked up.
By the way, this person
We still
talked.
haven't gotten the answer if Mage Hand was visible or not. So have a nice day.
Also, by the way, this person talks. They're not a normal person. Obviously.
I'm sorry, have you forgotten what
I saw
town
you
you're in?
who you were talking.
Yeah, I know.
I would still call that a veil breach. That warrants that they get brought in and talked to about this.
I'll take care of this.
They did say they would be back, regardless.
If this trend continues, then it'll be out of your hands.
Trust me, this is just early curiosity.
Mm-hmm. Let's hope it doesn't get
This sudden interest in dangerous things will either quiet down as they realize that, hey, it is actually dangerous and I should not do that unless in the outside. Which I did tell them they should just go do their thing there.
Even the outside's not a safe place
Or-
to test anything.
The outside is incredibly not. None of this should be tested
But,
at
like-
all. They should leave it alone.
I know. But still, curiosity killed the Vulcan turned Phoenix.
Then I suppose they'll get killed.
They'll get brought back unless a strong enough gust of wind blows over. Either way,
Talk to them.
they should be out of the
And
sewers.
if this
I'll find them.
continues, then again, I'm saying this for your sake. Do not get dragged down with them. It'll be out of your hands.
I'm aware. Don't worry,
Good.
I have my own measures prepped up.
Good.
This'll be the verbal warning, then it'll be the anti-magic collar, and then you guys can do whatever the fuck you want. Bars won't hold them, by the way. Just letting you know.
I suspected such. At least not the normal ones.
No. But I feel like if Aster were to give her the scolding, then I think she would listen more to it.
I agree.
Despite me being, not only their best friend, their higher up, but also their right-hand man. Yeah, no, Aster just holds more priority over me.
Aster is a hand of direct authority, but also directly deals with what they're dealing as well.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that the warning means any less coming from somebody else's mouth. Jesus.
Whatever, I'll do it.
Hmm.
Just have to find them.
Yes.
Pulls out double vial. Got one of these made. From your blueprint concept.
Hmm. Excellent craftsmanship.
Glass blowers make it look a lot easier than it is.
Oh, I believe it. I'll hold on to this. I'll try not to throw it at the next thing I see.
Try and save it for an important moment. Those take a while to make.
Are there any more pens on the desk?
Definitely.
Maybe if I can
You
get
see
one of
that
those
you-
Thompson factories I can make a bit of.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
No.
Of course.
Where do they all keep going?
I don't know.
How do you not-
fall? I dropped it onto the floor and it fell out of existence. Oopsie
They
doodle.
have little clips on the caps. You
Yeah,
can
but
clip
that
them
doesn't mean
onto the
I'm not
pocket of your
clumsy.
shirt. If
I've
you clip them
tried
onto
that.
your shirt, they won't fall off.
I have one right here, right now.
Then one is all you need.
I need more.
4?
I don't even want to.
Writing.
I have an enchantment to try.
Can't you write with that one?
No, this one's. I don't like this one's color. Like that one's red. This one's blue.
Then hand me that one, and I'll hand you the red one. Hmm?
I feel like this is a bad trade because what if that one doesn't have as much ink?
Just take a fucking pen, Asher.
Hand you the red one.
Takes the red pen, clips it on the pocket next to the other pen.
Puts the rest right next to herself.
Can I have another pen? I need it for writing. I'm gonna be writing a lot.
You better have a good reflex. Just underhand tosses it.
Pen next to the other two in pocket. Alright, sounds good. I have a lot of writing to do. I just picked up this book. There was a book outside. I picked up the book. And I'm gonna start writing in it.
You picked up a book that was randomly outside.
I did. Seemed like a good idea. It was
Can I at least see it? I'm not gonna do anything bad to it.
It's my special book. I have nowhere to carry it on me. I just am carrying a lot of pens.
Hello.
I suppose it's just a normal book. Don't worry about it. It's thick. Thick book.
Hello.
So,
But
do you want to listen to it or do you not care and just trust me to do it?
Do what you need
I
to
was
do.
about to sit here, but they're occupied.
I'm gonna go back out for a
Go
walk.
upstairs and do it.
Alright.
Alright, to my desk we go.
And then we pray. Let's see how much is left of the workday.
Not long.
Dang. I'm just gonna go around to all my
can't
crafting
wait.
buddies to figure out if anyone knew of any special leather.
I just want this shift to be over with, honestly.
Oh, well, I guess the leather conversations will wait till next time.
I need to get up and stretch. I've been sitting in that chair since.
You know, I wonder something.
Was sitting in that since you two left.
My apologies for leaving you there so long.
Someone had to keep an eye on the station.
And I appreciate that.
Of course.
Hmm. You know, I wonder. Do you remember the effects the poison had? What do you think will happen if I just casually
speaking of
drink the anti-poison? That would be interesting to test. But if we've already had somebody run around with eldritch magic outside, I probably shouldn't start creating big fumes of possibly antitoxin clouds.
I mean, it's...
Puts the potion and the antidote.
I want you to hold on to that antitoxin. You're welcome to hold on to it. You're welcome to hold on to both of them.
Alright.
They'll expire in about 3 weeks from now, so don't be afraid to use them.
Alright.
That antitoxin, however, is possibly one of the most potent in the area, so don't be afraid to use it in anything.
Alright.
Now, my curiosity can't wait. Parking lot or beach? Probably just parking lot again. Grandpa's
Mortons.
was Jesus fucking Christ. Oh well.
You haven't seen Rika by chance, have you?
Nope. Not in a while.
Okay.
Why are you here all alone, Ethan?
I was about to test him.
Kinda odd. Oh, I see.
Last
Well, I guess we'll
saw
leave you to that.
Rika, she was talking about finding her cat, if that helps.
She's always about talking. She's always talking about
I
finding that
figured.
cat.
She loves the cat. It's kind of cute.
I wish I could find love like that.
Fresh breaths. Nice. I should maybe come up here a bit more often.
If you fell in love with Rika, then I don't mind waiting. I always tell you when we go back to the apartment later tonight too. Not that important. Actually, although I do want to make an announcement to some people. I'm thinking about my name recently. I know it now. My real name that I was born with. And at some point or another, I should really tell everyone. Yeah, Snake knows, but no one else knows.
That must be really nice.
A little bit. I mean, my origin's still foggy. At least I know that.
I'm happy for you.
Oh. President hug. I think I'm gonna start using that name rather than some name old bartender gave me. Mostly to honor my parents. I don't really know who they are. I don't know if they're good or bad people, but
I don't remember mine either. All I know about my parents is they tried to hide me when... Well, they tried.
oh. Okay, don't think about it too much. I understand. It's really nice to see you doing better with your panic attacks, though. But noticing it.
Babylon helps. I feel safe here.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I've never felt safe anywhere else. I'm still having them, but they're coming less often now.
I see. That's good. That's good. So I wonder when I should tell everyone. It's not like I'm hesitant to. It's more like I don't know when to. Like I really get to see everyone together.
Huh.
We're not all together very often. You might just have to tell people individually.
Well, that's useful information.
Or wait until the apartment gets busy.
I guess
Our
I wouldn't
apartment's
entirely
always
mind
been
either.
Our apartment's always been a place where people came to hang out.
I see.
Wow.
There's the bell.
Yep.
Roleplay has ended.
Go hug. Damn, would have been fun to go for another hour. I would finally be
It
able to
would have
roleplay
been.
without the gas mask.
Wait, you got the what?
If you would like, make your way to Babylon's
I
Spawn
tested some
for
things
roses
for the
and
next 24 hours.
Nice.